is going on? Welcome to Ruu S Room. I am Ruu, aka the Culture Black Kid, and today we have the one and only Friday coming out of Sydney. He is he is a jack of all trades in the creative department through his music, production, art, just to name a few, because he can do freaking everything. He has just released Concern with fellow Full Circle homie Dylan Atlantis, which is the final single from his upcoming debut EP, Darling. Friday, how are you doing? None of that, it run into each other at a gig. How you doing? Like, for real, how you doing?
Yeah. No, I'm good. It's, obviously, things a bit hectic, just trying to tie everything up for the release and working and, trying to make money and all that sort of stuff. But
100%.
I'm good. Like, I'm doing this. I'm breathing, so it's cool.
That's good. Glad you're doing well. Concern out right now. You've dropped a number of singles this year. Beaming being, one of my favorite songs of the year so far. How has the love for Concern and the other singles been so far in the lead up to this EP?
Yeah, it's been sick. I think with kind of every song I've dropped, I've always had someone send a message or put up a story talking about how it makes them feel or what they imagine when they hear the song, and it's awesome to see. I think that's better than any compliment or any yo, that was a really good track, or yo, that shit bumped. It's better than any of that, because it's the message I was trying to communicate through this song is actually made it to its recipient.
For sure.
So it's to me, it's okay, well, I'm actually doing this. Mission well done. I can keep doing this and I can get better at it. But
100%.
yeah, it's been awesome to see. Love to all those people.
Definitely. The love for you has been absolutely ridiculous this year. So it is, underselling it to say that I'm beyond excited to hear the EP. Let's get into, some of the nitty gritty of this conversation and this interview.
For sure.
Now,
appreciate that, by the way.
No, 100%. Now, if you are not sure, both you and, the people listening, this is not a typical interview. This is so tell me about, when you first started music. The idea of this interview is to try and get the people to understand a little bit more just about you as a person, and just about, again, how you came to be who you are, some more personal details about you. So
cool.
To kick it off, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what percentage of yourself do you think people really know about you?
Like which people?
Like your
everybody?
circle. Like your
my
circle.
Yeah. My circle. Probably I think with my guys, especially Sully and Dylan, probably a solid 80-90%. I think if there's anything that they don't kind of know about me, or a side of me they haven't seen, it's just more due to time. But yeah, I feel with those guys, and the Full Circle guys in general, they're definitely some of the first people that I've felt comfortable being completely myself around.
Sure.
So it's been pretty sick.
For sure.
I would say a solid amount of percentage. A
100%.
solid percentage.
100%. And it's always dope when you see a crew like you guys who are so tight knit. It makes sense that you guys, you would feel super comfortable to share at least 90% of yourself.
Yeah, literally.
How much of that 80-90% do you think you've shared within your music so far?
I would say, these are crazy questions. I would say probably and I would probably account this to the fact that I'm just starting out, but probably 50%, 50, 60.
50.
Just on the fact that I haven't I don't think I've explored my psyche that deeply yet. I mean, this EP is only, I guess, as far as the topics it covers, it's only kind of a little bit of what I've been through from the ages of, say, 18 to 20, 21, sort of.
It's the past 3 years type thing.
Yeah, it's kind of the period of time that it covers. So it's I haven't even gotten to start exploring, say, my childhood or, later on, who I am later on, etc. There's all sorts of, topics that I haven't even been haven't covered yet.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
As far as what's been released, yeah, probably 50-60. As far as what I've written, probably a little bit more. But
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. One final question before we move into the next part. Do you think yourself being so multidisciplinary as you are in the genres of music, do you feel like it's easier to, be able to songwrite and talk about those specific, a wide variety of personal topics? Because as, just to rapper myself, you know, sometimes there's more personal topics that's a lot harder to get out because, you know, it can sometimes come off a little corny when you write it, you know.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good question because it's something that I've definitely thought about a lot. I guess in the years that I was ruminating on kind of really taking music seriously, because I think for a lot of when I was growing up, as far as having aspirations for music in like my teen years, I did want to rap. I thought that was like what I had to do, sort of. And then, you know, as I kind of studied artists a lot more that I liked and that I listened to, whoever they may be, I noticed there's kind of rap is really difficult because you have to, even if you're not saying anything crazy or deeply revealing, you have to find your voice when you're doing it.
For sure.
Because it's just kind of plainly on display.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I found that when it comes to like singing, you can kind of mask you know, the craziest things in a really beautiful melody or the darkest, the saddest things in a beautiful melody. And I was like, I think I want to play with that whole. So I should stay close to the mic.
No, you could.
I think I want to play with that whole. That I wanted to play with that whole kind of dichotomy there of like, you know, the notes that you choose may not exactly match up to the words that you say. Yeah. But yeah, so I think being able to kind of see genres as different colors or different palettes to play with definitely really helps when I'm trying to communicate a certain idea, because yeah, I think that's what music's about. Like I think music is about painting different moods with different instruments and different sound sources. But
yeah, I like that. Anyway, to move on to this next section, hopefully, you know, people get to understand a little bit more of that 50-60% of you. So this part right now is like primary school. We're going to do a little show and tell. It's going to be, again, get to know Friday based on, you know, these 5 questions that I have come up with. Yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing is, what is something that represents who you are as a person?
I think there's definitely like no one physical object that I think does this. But at the moment, the closest thing would probably be like my necklace. Like I wouldn't say it represents me as a person, but I think in a weird way, it's like a representation of the fact that I am a person. It's just there's just a little like gingerbread man. Pendant, and it's just like. I really like the vibe of just like having a little, you know, facsimile of like a human being on my neck. I find that kind of funny in a weird way.
For sure.
So maybe that.
Okay.
But you know, if I misplace this necklace, then it's all down the drain.
Oh no, for sure, for sure.
I lost all my rings over the weekend. That was over the long weekend, which is pretty funny. I went to the lake with my mates. And I took it off.
Oh no!
When I went into the water and. I forgot to pick them up, so they're just sitting there.
I'm
sure some lucky person has found a couple rings, but
you need one of those missing Fridays rings.
Post them up. If found, you know, call this number. But.
Yeah, for sure. Is there a story of, you know, how you got that necklace, or was it just something you just saw and were like, that's cool?
It is the latter. But I did have a necklace prior to this that was like a Vivienne Westwood necklace that I bought off a friend, and I lost it. And I was like, damn, I need something new.
You're not good with your items.
I'm not, bro. That's probably like my biggest toxic trait is I lose everything. I got just the chain from like a Bevel's or something, like a random like jeweler for like $40, and then I'm like, I just need to go find like something real cool to put on
the
it.
piece. Yeah,
exactly. And it was like I didn't want to do anything traditional, so I went to like Mega Cash in Doonside, and it was just sitting there, and I'm like, sure, there you go, that's the one. Exactly.
Fair enough. Okay, number 2. What is the last sentimental gift you received from someone?
It is this bracelet from Miss Dylan Atlantis herself. She went to the Philippines at the end of January, so like throughout February and stuff. And me and Dylan probably spend like, if we're not with like our family or like at our jobs, like we spend like most of our time together. And so it was like, separation anxiety. I'm like, yo, where's my homie? She came back on my birthday, and she had these, and yeah, we have matching ones.
That's
There's actually a
fine.
picture of us all both wearing them
Oh, that's
while she's
fine.
performing. It's crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I really like that. Again, obviously, you got your full circle crew, and again, guys super tight. But
That's the gang.
it's dope to have someone within that crew that's like, that's my ride or die, day
Yeah,
one,
bro.
MFer, like anything they need, I'm there for.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Like that's all the guys really.
Of
Like
course.
I've got so much love for all
Of
of them.
course.
And yeah, but
course.
we've all got our own friendships with each other,
100%.
which is awesome. It's cool to see everyone's relationships with each
Yeah.
other. It's funny.
No, 100%, 100%. That's dope. That's really, really cool, Number 3, what is the first most important piece of equipment you ever bought or received?
It is. Oh, okay. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I had an answer, but I feel like I've got two now.
Okay.
I've got two. Is that I'm gonna cheat? Is it cool to cheat? Okay,
Please
cool.
cheat away.
Easy. There's an acoustic guitar.
Yep.
I don't know what brand it is. I think it's it says Essex.
Okay.
Um
Shout out to
my
Essex.
dad my dad got it for me when I was in 5th grade because he wanted me to learn an instrument, and at the time I hated playing music just because it was like an extra thing that I had to do that wasn't like playing video games
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
or watching TV. So I shoved it in my closet, and I would never practice every time I got lessons from my 40-year-old guitar or probably older than 40.
Who you thought was ancient, probably.
60-year-old
Yeah,
guitar
yeah, yeah,
teacher
yeah.
or something. But now it's kind of the tool that I write most of my lyrics on, because I find it hard to write to like fully produced beats. So I'll take the chords and I'll just play them on that, and it's kind of helped me write almost all my songs.
Okay.
And then I do have this TC Helicon Voice Play Live,
Okay.
which I was put onto by Nick Ward, my king. It's a bit janky in terms of the way it works. But I feel like it's a very fun thing to use because it definitely turns your voice into more of an instrument.
Right.
Like it's kind of akin to like, guitar pedals on a guitar. Like I can pitch my voice down, I can harmonize, and I think that's always something I've really been so like gassed about when it came to music. Like Imogen Heap is definitely like a huge inspiration when it comes to music. So, and Bon Iver. So, yeah.
Nice.
That bad boy there.
So you
Yeah.
use that in live performances?
I use that in live performance.
Yeah, nice. To bring it back to the guitar thing, I can kind of relate. I've been playing violin since like kindergarten year 1, and it's hard to get a kid who's in primary school to like
Yeah,
to
to
force
care.
them to play like practice their instrument.
Yeah.
But like looking back, it's like, wow, I'm kind of thankful that
Grateful, yeah.
that I have this instrument and the skill, because if I didn't, then where would I be? To be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sure that guitar didn't just spark the music, but also sparked, the other creative sides of you, the graphic design and the painting and
100%,
other,
yeah.
whatever else creative
Definitely
things
fed
you
into
do.
it. Yeah.
So it's always interesting to find like the base, the point zero of the creative side of you started. So yeah, I love that. What is an object from or that represents one of your favorite gigs or sessions?
This is a photo card made by one of our friends, Anadora. It's got me playing bass on it.
Fire.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, she gave this to me after Nick Ward's headline show in Sydney, in which I played bass for, which was definitely such a fun gig. Probably, definitely like top 5 gigs. And the photo itself is from the Melbourne stop on the tour, so that's definitely lovely there. She's actually made one, I think, of all of Full Circle, which is pretty
That's
fun.
crazy.
But she's real cool. I think she does like, I'm not sure if it's like, if I just imagined this, but I'm pretty sure she does it as like sort of a study of like fandom culture, and like it's almost this like meta thing of like how do fandoms work and how do they behave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got super creative with them, and they're pretty cool.
No,
Yeah.
that is really cool. And I'm expecting Full Circle trading cards. after this.
Yo.
Like you remember
the Zion ones like mad rare and
yeah,
stuff.
for sure. It's like I'm not sure if you remember like Smith's Chips had like the footy cards, and they used to
the
be like
Tazos,
yeah. Oh, the Tazos, yeah. No, I
Yeah,
expect like
easy.
full circle trading cards would be so hard. I would have like the flip folder with all the slots.
it.
Be like, nah, I got fucking Dylan Atlanta sweatshirt from here. I got
What do you want of everyone, man?
Yo, it would be
I'd
crazy.
be killing it to get like an Isaac Purell trading card.
That would be
Oh, dude. Goodness gracious. That'd be crazy. Or like a JC trading card.
I got an Isaac Purell hip hop show 1 of 1.
Please, can I change you my JC for my Ashley, bro?
That would be fire.
Ashley.
No, we gotta start this, bro. That's
we
fire.
actually have to, bro.
Oh, but no, that's so fire and that's so creative. Again, yeah, that's really cool. You know that they did that, and you know one for the whole crew, and you know it's a dope memory from it for sure. You know, I started getting into taking more Polaroids and you know sticking them up on my wall and you know putting like a little caption underneath it, dating it. So yeah, the fact that you got something that notes that day and time. It's like, yeah, I remember that.
Thing.
Yeah.
100%.
And again, as a final point to that, you know, there's just something cool about, like you said, having a tangible thing that's like, yo, I can physically pick this up and be like, yo, look at this photo of this specific moment in time rather than just photos on social media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it evokes memories in a different way.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's definitely more vivid. And finally, in this little show and tell, what is something that represents your dreams and aspirations within your field?
I would say my artist name, Friday.
Cliche question alert. Break down the story of the name Friday.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's I guess it's kind of a multifaceted meaning behind it, which like, you know what? I kind of want to keep a little bit mysterious. So I'm just going to say part of it is that Friday is everyone's favorite day of the week. I feel like it's got a lot of connotations to, you know, clocking out of work or going home from school. And I think the feeling associated with that is a universal kind of like, yay. And I think that's kind of what I want people to feel like.
For sure.
But I think the reason why the name represents my aspirations is because like a couple years ago, or maybe last year actually, I went to this like music conference. And like, keep in mind, when I chose the name Friday, I knew it was like definitely going to be so hard to Google me, like just so difficult. And when there was like one person there, I forgot their name, I probably wouldn't name them anyway, but they were like an executive or something at a label.
Yep.
And they're just like giving advice and stuff to all these young kids that wanted to like be musicians. I sat there and she was like, yo, so, you know, what are your artist names, or like, what's your vibe? And I'm like, oh, my artist name's Friday. And she's like, okay, first of all, terrible SEO, like you might want to change that. And I'm like, yeah, like I already kind of had that in my mind, but I think like, first of all, it was the only name that I felt like represented me as an artist properly. And at the same time, I kind of took it as a challenge of like, okay, like even though this is just the worst thing to do marketing wise, I feel like it's definitely pushed me to like make sure that it sort of becomes a household name, like it sort of becomes something that's like tied to me as an artist, I guess, which is like definitely extremely ambitious, but I'm like, what would I be doing without extreme ambition?
No,
So,
100%.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta shoot for the stars.
exactly.
Yeah. Is that where maybe the asterisks on the Friday came from, just to make it just a smidge more?
Not shooting for the stars. No, I was sitting next to Zion and I was like, dude, should it be an exclamation mark or an asterisk? There's too many Fridays on Spotify. And he was like, asterisk.
So shout out to Zion, pretty much.
I don't think he thought about it too much. He was just like, asterisk is cool, bro. And then he went back to whatever he was doing.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, there's an asterisk on it now. But
Okay.
I represent it as a star.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
cooler.
And that's the logo. Sorry, can you hold that up one more time?
Oh, for sure.
Who did the logo? Who did you design that?
Me, I did the logo, yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I guess it's just that's where we're at for the era.
No, those are all really dope things, and you know, I hope people, you know, really enjoyed the stories behind them. Got a couple more questions to go. Or actually, no, one more proper question. What is a personal moment that stands out to you that has impacted your music in a certain way?
It's hard to choose like one thing, because it's definitely just there's literally been so many times.
Of course.
I think maybe a big one. I was talking to my parents like a couple months ago about like university and stuff like that, and I think a lot of growing up, I was very worried about, you know, showing my parents that like I wanted to do art and be an artist. Because like from a very young age, I think like they kind of subtly discourage that just because, you know, that's like the immigrant parent experience.
Of course.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know, we're trying to just like, let's just be successful. Like I'm trying to make sure
Doctor,
you
lawyer.
graduate, like, and got money, like, you know what I mean? And so like, I think I was very scared of like showing them that. And I think in this, you know, chat that we had, which was a pretty heavy one, I kind of expressed, I'm like, hey, like, I just didn't think you guys would back me kind of if I went full tilt on this. And then my dad was like, because here's the thing with the guitar, like I had that in my closet for like years, and I didn't pick guitar up again until I was in like year 8 because my mates started playing it. And I asked him for an electric guitar.
Yeah.
After that one was like in the thing, and he's like, "What the hell? Like, you know, I've spent all that money on that guitar. You don't play it." But then like a day or two later, he was like, "All right, which guitar do you want? Like, let's just do it." And consistently, you know, over my childhood, if I've been like, "Oh, I want a drum kit," or "Oh, I want this," like he'll be like, "All right, easy. Like, which one?" And it was like out of everything that I'd ever asked for, you know, I'd ask for video games, this, that, whatever. Like those were the ones he like never asked a question about. And so when we were having that chat, he was like, "Every single time you've asked me for something music related, I've done it. Like I've helped you get it. Like even if you know if you bought it with your own money, like I put a little bit in. Like I've done it, you know, with you. So I don't know why you thought we wouldn't support you." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "True." and I just like I think it just gave me a really big second wind to like go even harder.
For sure.
It was like a thing of like, okay, like I have to do this now. Not even like to repay or anything like that, but just off the thing of like, oh, like you guys have actually backed me this entire time. Like I have to do this for you guys. But yeah.
It's always great when you have someone in your corner that's, you know, especially family that, you know, is supporting you. And I know that the parent thing can be a little dicey sometimes, you know, again, especially with immigrant parents. So, you know, the fact that they were like, "What are you talking about? Like, we always had you."
Yeah, it was extremely comforting.
Yeah.
Because it was definitely my biggest anxiety with doing this for like the first year of doing it.
For sure.
But yeah.
For sure. Well, you know, when that international tour happens, I'm sure they will be front row. And that will be super fire. Thank you so much for coming on. It was, you know, I had an absolute blast talking to you today, learning a bit more about you. I hope the people learned a little bit more about you as a person as well. My final, you know, non-formal question to you is, what's happening in your life right now? What's coming out? What should people go check out that's already out? What's coming up?
Darling, debut EP. That's it.
Okay. Make sure you go stream Concern. Make sure you stream all the songs that, you know, has come prior. And yeah, make sure you follow Friday. I'm pretty sure I got the socials down there somewhere. Seen on Friday.
That's it.
If you are not sure. Thank you again. I am Ruu, aka the Culture Black Kid. And yeah, this is Ruu's Room.
Cultured indeed.
You know, I try my best. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.